everybody, it's Gabby and I'm back with a book haul. Yeah, I kind of went overboard because I have another box coming to me and it should be here soon, and I was going to try to wait, but then I figured that if I waited then it was going to be like 40 books as opposed to however many books I have. So I just went to the bookstore by me and it's called Second Looks Books. So I have a bag full that I'll go through. I just got a package from Goodreads. I don't know what's in there, but this was a giveaway, so I'm pretty excited for that. And then I have about 20 books or so to go through. So, without further ado, let's go! Yay!
So, I'm going to do the, I'll do the Goodreads one first. So, pull to open. I feel like these are always more challenging than they should be. And I don't have my boxes. And by the way, my, book outlet books will be just regular because I originally opened it and did a big haul video, and you know, it just didn't work out. Alright, so oh gosh. Alright, so this is, I don't even know what this is. Sometimes I just sign up for things just because of the title, and then I just forget what it is. But this is Counter Zombie Warfare by Jason A. Beauchemin. I suck at pronouncing last names, but this basically is just following a set of deployed soldiers, and they are not only dealing with the war, or like thing with the war. I have something on my screen. Like they're not just dealing with warfare, but they're also dealing with zombies, and so it seems pretty interesting. I don't know when I'll get to it. I don't know if those are the words. Yes, those are words. Yes, they are. But this is just going to be somewhat different of a read. We'll see how I like it, but this is the first one on this lovely book haul. The next one that I have, we're going to go with the, these books. So I have Maximum Override by James Patterson. This is the Angel Experiment. I've just heard really good things about this series, and I do like James Patterson books. I know like a lot of people don't like him because he puts out so many in a year, and when he's putting out like I think he puts out like 10 a year, which is insane because he's not really putting in as much detail and like as much thought into it as he probably could. But I still like his books. They're snappy reads. So then I got another one that's part of the Maximum Override series, and this one is Saving the World. So again, I've just heard that they're really good, and I saw them there, and by the way, like all the stuff that's coming from this just came to $11, so you can't beat that. J.R. Ward books, I got these are the Fallen Angels series, and it's Immortal and Envy. I don't know too much about it, and I don't even know which order these are in, but I know I have Covet, so I figured I would just get these as well. So I got these two, and J.R. Ward, she just kind of has like a quick, like, they're like fun reads, and so I usually read the Black Dagger Brotherhood series by her. So this is the Fallen Angel series, which I have a few of them, but I haven't picked them up yet. But a lot of people say that they don't like them because they're kind of silly, but they're like whatever. They're just, you know, they're your smutty paranormal vampire things, but these are obviously going to be with angels. Then I also picked up another Heather Graham book, because you can't go wrong with Heather Graham. This one is called The Darkest Journey, and it is another Crew Hunters. I don't know which number this one is. I feel like I'm just reading them all out of order, but this one is set in Louisiana on a movie, and of course she stumbles upon it's Charlie. She stumbles upon a dead body, and then of course that pulls in the FBI, and then she meets Ethan, and in true Heather Graham way, I feel like they're going to fall in love, and then there's going to be danger for one of them, and then the other one has to save the day. So they're kind of predictable, I guess, the Crew of Hunters, because they're all kind of the same, but, you know, it's whatever. Nobody cares. The next one that I got was What Was Mine by Helen Klein Ross. This one I just kind of picked up because, I mean, the idea of the title itself drew me, but from what I remember, it's about this woman named Lucy, and she steals a baby from the baby's carriage, and she just goes about her life acting like this baby is hers, and she hides the secret from her whole family, and her whole family doesn't even know that it's a stolen baby, but eventually, like, everything catches up with her. So this one seems definitely interesting, and I might try to read this soon, since it kind of goes along with the idea of thrillers, but, you know, I don't need it to be October to read thrillers, so whatever. And then the last one that I got from the Second Looks books was Sweet Surprise, which is the romance collection, and it is just 9 contemporary romances. I feel like I always get, like, creepy or, like, supernatural or thrillers, so I figured that I would get a romance, and this is a bunch of different contemporary short stories, and, I don't know, I just also just liked how the pages looked, which I know is so weird, but that's not a good example, but it's a pretty big series of collections, but it's fine. So that's from Second Looks books. So then next up is all of my books that I got from Book Outlet, or actually, no, I'll do the books that I just got last night at, where did I go last night? At Barnes & Noble. I got 2 books and a bookmark. I got a bookmark because I realized I don't really have any bookmarks anymore. I know I posted about one in my other video. So I've been hearing a lot about The Couple Next Door by Shari Lapena, and the last person that talked about it that I watched their video. I think her channel is Zombie Reads, I think. I'll post it down below, but the way that she, like, describes this book makes me want to read it even more, and I've been trying to, like, hold off on buying it because I'm not, like, a huge fan on hardcovers, which I know I'm so weird about that. So I was trying to hold off until it came to paperback, but the more that I just, like, hear about it, the more I want to read it. But basically it just follows a couple, and that's all I know about it. Isn't that awful? Like, you get so excited about a book, and then, like, you actually go to, like, read it, and then talk about it, and you're like, yeah, I don't know what it's about. So I got this. It is hardcover, which I'll make do. It's fine. At least I can use the dust jacket as a bookmark, and I don't have to search for one, even though I got one. The other one that I got was another Crew of Hunters book by Heather Graham, and it is The Hidden. This one follows Nathan and Scarlett, and they are in Colorado this time. Then my bookmark, if I can get it out of the sleeve, because last night I couldn't get it out. I think it's, like, stuck. I don't want to break it. Okay, whatever. I'll just hold it up. But I like big books, and I cannot lie. It doesn't make you want to, like, sing the rest of it, like, you rather brothers can't deny. Okay, that was weird. Alright, so next up are my books from Book Outlet, and here we go. This is it. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is Stay With Me by Alison Gaylin, and this just follows a woman named Brenna who is haunted by her past, and she can't really remember her past. The only thing that she remembers is everything about her adulthood. Like, she has this perfect memory about her adulthood, but everything before then, like her childhood, it's completely wiped out of her memory. She doesn't understand why. She does get, like, some pockets of memories there. The only thing that she remembers is that 28 years ago, her sister disappeared, and now, like, fast forward 28 years now, she has a daughter, and her daughter goes missing, and she's wondering if the two cases are connected, or if there's some deeper message going on, or if, like, the world is against her. So that is what this one is about, and this one was on the, I think it was, like, 50% off of the suspense thrillers or whatever on Book Outlet. The next one that I have is Frangipani Hotel by Violet Kupersmith, and this basically just it's kind of like a modern supernatural ghost story, or ghost stories, because there are some intertwined throughout it, and the characters coexist with the supernatural, and it's also kind of like a statement about the immigrant experience and the post-war life, so it's a little bit deeper than just saying it is a modern ghost story. So this one seems pretty interesting. This is not my usual pick, but I'm trying to do different things because we need different things, right? So then my next one is Amity and Sorrow by Peggy Riley. It starts off with two girls that they're, like, found, like wrists are bound in the backseat of their car as the mother is fleeing from their polygamous father, and they get into an accident and a man stops, and I think his name is Bradley, and he becomes like their savior, and he's very weary about them because they're very strange, but eventually they start trusting each other and they create like a family. But I don't remember if there's like a twist or anything to it, but I know that it's more about like the story is about belief, redemption, and the dark heart of extreme faith. So this again is one of those new ones that I'm not usually drawn to, but I figured it was worth a shot. Then I have okay, so I didn't know that this was a series until I got it, but oh gosh. It is called Vitro by Jessica Khoury, and this one, and again, I don't know if the series, if you have to read it in order, but I think this is the second one. But anyways, it's about a private science experiment. I'm pretty sure like all of this, the series or trilogies, whatever it is, they're all science experiments, but this one is actually about a science experiment gone wrong, and there's a girl who I think her mom's a scientist, and she created a genetically enhanced twin of her daughter. So when her daughter and their group of friends go to this island, they find these genetically enhanced humans, but then there's a dangerous flaw to all of them, like the genetically enhanced humans. So like the big statement is, when does science cross the line? So this seems really interesting. I am definitely like starting to really like science fiction books, so I definitely wanted to try this one out. It's The Lie, and I actually did not get this one from Book Outlet. I got this one from Barnes & Noble. This was a spur of the moment, you know, one of those spontaneous buys that you just can't help yourself. But this is The Lie by C.L. Taylor, and it just follows a woman named Jane Hughes who has this perfect life. However, Jane Hughes actually does not exist. 5 years ago, she went on vacation with, I think it's like 5 of her best friends, and only one walked out. Obviously, it was Jane Hughes. Jane Hughes. And it's 5 years later, or no, 2 walked away. I'm sorry. And only the 2 people are the only ones who know it, but as Jane's trying to live her life more and like go on with herself. Sorry, I had to like shift. As she's trying to go about her life, somebody's trying to ruin that. My guess is that the other friend that walked away has all of the answers, and yeah. So it seemed really interesting. It was one of Barnes & Noble's staff recommendations, and it was also a new release, so I'm pretty excited about this one. Okay, so I'm like a big fan of Christmas stories, so I got the Christmas Train by David Baldacci, I think that's how you pronounce it. But this basically follows a journalist named Tom Langdon as he travels by train from DC to LA for Christmas, and he's very grumpy about it. But along the way, he meets different people that are I guess they all need second chances, and it's just you know, your typical Christmas story filled with second hopes and dreams and around the miracle season. I love Christmas stories. They're just so sweet. Even though I like hate the rainbows and lollipop stories, but I love Christmas stories because they're just so magical. But I got this one, and then, okay, so this one I'm actually pretty excited for. So when I first got it, I didn't know what it was about, but this is Survive the Night by Danielle and Vega. So I really just got it because it was part of the 50% off sale on Book Outlet. I didn't know what it was about until I looked into it, and it sounds intense. So it basically follows, it's like an all-night underground secret party, and it's like under like where the railroads are and whatever. So a group of friends have to literally escape this underground party. It's kind of like a rave, and one of them stumbles upon a dead body, but nobody can hear this woman scream, and it just sounds really crazy. And I don't know if it's, I think it is young adult, which is different again for me. However, the concept is not different. So this is that one. Then I have, I feel like I'm like dropping all my books. Then I have The Cleaner by Paul Cleave, and this follows the janitor of a police station. His name is Joe, and throughout the news, they've been talking about this person called, I think they call him Christ Church, and what happens is that They are saying that he has murdered 7 people. However, Joe knows that only 6 of them have been killed by the church, the Christ Church carver. And so because of this, he is now planning on figuring out who the copycat is, and then he's going to pin all of the other 6 women's murders on this man. So that's this one. It seems pretty interesting. Hopefully it is. It is one of those books that was just a spur of the moment buy on Book Outlet, but again, Book Outlet just has all of those great deals. So then the next one that I have is We Are Called to Rise by Laura McBride, and this one is, it just kind of follows 3 lives on a Vegas strip. They all collide with each other, they're kind of like intertwining, and it's a story about families, the ones we have and the ones that we make, which sounds pretty interesting because I feel like sometimes people don't necessarily consider their actual family their family. They look to their friends as their family, or sometimes you just have to find like a new family. So this seems really cool, and I feel like I'm talking so quickly. Alright, so then the next one that I have is So Much Pretty by Kara Hoffman, and this one is about a girl who disappears, and then it's told through the eyes of a journalist and then various other characters. And that's pretty much all I know about it. This one I just kind of got because I just liked the cover. I know that's such a weird reason to buy a book, but I mean, it's pretty, which I guess makes sense because it's So Much Pretty. So this one is on my list as well. And then I have, okay, so this one I'm pretty excited about, and I'm probably going to be reading it really, really soon. It's The Too Good to Be True, The Colossal Book of Urban Legends by Jan Harold Brunvand. And it's basically what it sounds like. It's a colossal book of urban legends, which who doesn't like urban legends? You have like the legend about the alligators in the sewer system, or the one about the babysitter getting the phone call and then the person's upstairs and all that, and the pet in the microwave and blah blah blah. So this one is on there as well. Christmas Cookie Collection, which I know is another Christmas story, but this one is by Lori Wilde, and it's just about a Christmas tale about finding your destiny in a one true love. So she thinks about a true love, and then all of a sudden he's back in her life, which again, I don't like contemporary romance usually or anymore because I used to like only read that, but again, it's a Christmas novel, so you can't go wrong. So I'll probably be reading this one and The Christmas Train around Christmas time. The next one that I have is Blue Bayou, and this is a Rachel Gibson. This is Rachel Gibson, and she was the first romance author that I really got into, but I haven't read a lot of her books lately. I do have a lot on my bookcase, but this one is just about Blue and Casper, who had this brief, fiery teenage affair, and then Casper left, and Blue was devastated, but he left for the Marines, and then she moved out of state. Well, now he's back, she's back, and Casper basically wants to win back Blue, but she's trying her hardest not to let herself fall for him. This is I believe, a snapshot book, so it's pretty short. So I'm pretty sure that's just gonna be like one of those quick romances that like speeds through everything, and then you get to the end and it's just like, oh, they live happily ever after. So that's why I picked it up too, because like I'm trying to get back into the groove of romances because I feel like all I've been reading are thrillers, and that might be why I am in a reading slump. So this is that one. Broken Monsters by Lauren Buick, and I just bought a Lauren Buick's book as well, and I did that in my last book haul. But this one, it follows Detective Gabriella, which I didn't realize that the detective was Gabriella, because my full name is Gabrielle, and I was supposed to be named Gabriella, which random tidbit there. But follows Detective Gabriella, and she comes across a body that is a half boy, half deer, and they're just fused together in this weird way. And then throughout the series of the book, stranger bodies appear with different animals and whatever fused together. And the city, excuse me, I think I'm getting sick. The city, it's in Detroit, which is where I think the other one is taking place. But like the city starts falling at the seams, and wouldn't you fall at the seams if like all of a sudden all these like human animal fused bodies starting to appear? Yeah, but this one's a pretty hefty one. Well, it doesn't look hefty, but I think it's about like, it's really not that big. It feels heavier. Like, you know, like some books just feel heavier. Like
this one, no, it doesn't. I lied. Compared to this one, it's not, but this one's a lot bigger. But it still just feels heavy. I think it's the hardcover part of it.
And I just had like a Doug from Up moment, like squirrel. Alright, the girl with the clock for a heart by Peter Swanson, and this just follows, which one is this one about? Okay, so George meets his girlfriend in college, and over Christmas break, he hears this news that she has committed suicide. So he's devastated, and he doesn't understand why, but when he attends her funeral service and looking at the pictures of this dead girl, he realizes that the dead girl in the pictures is not his girlfriend. So he's confused, he's not sure what's going on, but he leaves, and then it fast forwards 20 years later, and his girlfriend, this mysterious woman, comes back into his life abruptly and just says, "You're the only one who can save me." So it's like a dun 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 thing, but I'm pretty interested in it, and I've been eyeing it on Book Outlet for a long time, and I just figured it was about time that I got it. So then I have The Bargaining by Carly Ann West, and this one follows Penny, who is ignored by not only, and I feel like now I have like all the books in the way. She's not only ignored by her parents, but she is, like, not only is she ignored by them, but she's also used to it. And she doesn't care in a sense because it's just been common or like second nature to her. But over, I think it's either the summer or the fall, she's forced to renovate a house with her stepmother, and it's like in the middle of nowhere. So she finds like comfort in one of the owners of a general store, and his name is Miller. However, Miller is not exactly how he appears. So this one kind of seems like it would be like a mix of the house at the end of the street and, what's the other one? The Uninvited. But it, again, that's just me making whatever. So there was this one. So then I have Because You'll Never Meet Me by Leah Thomas, and this follows, what are their names? Ollie and Moritz. And Ollie is allergic to electricity, and Moritz has a pacemaker in order to keep him alive because his heart can't beat without it. And so Ollie and Moritz, they develop a friendship through the use of letters, and they write to each other, and they want to meet each other, but they know they can't. So then throughout the course of their letters, they're finding out more about each other, and it's not necessarily in a good way. And I feel like now I have like no more space to put anything anywhere. So then I have Kiss, Kill, Vanish by Jessica Martinez, and this is about a girl named Valentina who witnesses her boyfriend commit a murder, and the murder is ordered by Valentina's father. So she goes on the run because she's done with this life, but eventually she can't deny her past, which obviously nobody ever can. Even if you try to outrun it, like, your past is your past. You just have to embrace it. But it kind of seems like it's more of like a mafia type style, which seems really cool because like Valentina's trying to escape that life. Then the next one that I have is The Year We Fell Apart by Emily Martin, and this is about Harper, who makes mistakes constantly, from like getting kicked off the soccer team, failing her tests, yada yada yada. Well, the biggest one of all is her destroyed friendship with her best friend Declan, and throughout this, she just needs Declan because eventually she finds out that her mother is sick with cancer, and the one person that she wants to turn to, she can't because she's kind of pushed him away, he's pushed her away, but eventually she starts like falling back into it, and she doesn't want to destroy it any further. She kind of wants to rekindle it because it's like the one commonplace thing. So this seems really cool. It's a young adult, I think, but this was part of the 50/50 sale for pretty covers. So this was that one. I feel like these books are about to fall at any minute. The next one that I have is Kalahari, and this is that by Jessica Khoury. This is that from like the Vitro series. Again, I don't know which one this one is, but this one follows 5 teens who get stranded in the Kalahari desert, and they're suddenly attacked by a silver lion who was unprovoked, and they don't know why, and eventually they find out that the lion has a highly contagious and dangerous disease or virus, and they have to not only outrun the virus, but the creatures and the creators of this virus. Oh, it's not deadly, it's a contagious virus. So I'm thinking zombies, maybe, who knows? Or it's like kind of like Zoo, but maybe executed differently than how James Patterson does it. Then the next one that I have, I feel like I'm going to drop all these, is Let Me Go by Chelsea Cain, and this one is about Detective Archie, who has to get through his birthday and Halloween because apparently he just doesn't like them. And then Gretchen Lowell is an escaped serial killer, and she stirs up problems. And I think somebody had mentioned that there's actually like a love connection between those two, which could make it really interesting. Then the next one that I have is Eloise by Jodie Finnegan, and this one, it follows a woman who was a daughter, a wife, and a mother, and she was also a friend, but what secrets did she take to her grave? So I'm guessing that it's going to be either the afterlife and how people are, I guess, kind of living without her, or it could be told from her perspective and what happened leading up to her death, or it could even be her ghost. So there's this one, and then I have The One Safe Place, and this one is written by Tanya Unsworth, and it follows, it's kind of a dystopia novel. I didn't really read too much into it, but I think all these kids try to go to this like safe place, but then when they actually get there, they realize that it's not as safe and they can't actually leave. So then it's, not only did they try to get there, now they're trying to escape. Is Never Come Back by David Bell, and this one, it follows a woman whose mother is suddenly murdered, or just suddenly dies, and the mother was taking care of, I think the woman's name is Elizabeth, so Elizabeth's mother was taking care of Elizabeth's brother, who is troubled, and there's a few other issues along with him, but the police immediately suspect that he has killed her because they find out that the mother was strangled. So it seemed like a pretty, like, thriller-ish read. And then I have Dark Lie by Nancy Springer, and I'm really not sure what this one is, but there's this one, and I'm pretty sure it's like a creepy, thrillery one. And then the last one that I have is The Cemetery Girl by David Bell. If you can't tell, I'm on a David Bell kick because I feel like I just already bought one, but this one follows Tom and Amy, who have the perfect life until their 12-year-old daughter disappears, and I feel like there was already a book where a daughter disappears, but you jump 4 years later, and then the daughter is found all like scarred and scratched up, and then they find out who kidnapped her, but the daughter won't testify against him. So the couple, Tom and Amy, kind of have to take matters into their own hands. So this could be very interesting. I feel like there's a movie that's very similar to this, but I don't know if the kid was actually found in that movie.
But anyways, this was my, I'm not even going to call it anything wrap-up. It was just, or not wrap-up, I'm not even going to, like, call it a specific type of book haul because I have another one coming soon, and it's literally 20 books. But this was my quick little book haul, and I hope you liked it, so bye!